Good afternoon, and today we are going into some technical analysis for the SPY and the Qs and going to look over at volatility. Once again, just the plan is still the plan as of right now, and now we are at the location where we have to see if we set up those reversal signals at these levels by the end of the week. Now you are in a moment of time on the daily chart where you have seen one of these type of breakout moments, one of these type of breakout moments, one of these type of breakout moments, and is this going to be the next one that skies you up to 620? There is a possibility for that going into July if you're able to remain healthy. Now, to go into the shorter time frames like the 2-hour chart, and let's get Bollinger Bands off of here for now. We were just taking a quick look at those earlier. We noticed that we were at the weekly expected move. What does that mean for the week? Well, if I had options expiring this week or even options expiring in the month of June or early July, this could be a potential decision-making area because a lot of the time from these areas, you do like to see resistances. Now, from this point, you might say we have a little bit more upside, or if we squeeze through, then that could be a good thing. So the three decisions that we like to talk about here are hedging potential long positions, taking profit in these areas, especially if you have like expiration this week. And then the other one would just be, hey, I'm going to leave all of this on, right? And leave some runners, right? You could always leave runners, or you could leave it all on and say, hey, I'm risking it all that this thing is going to go higher past the high probable level where you are likely to see pullbacks. So what is the most likely thing for tomorrow with this information in mind being at a decision-making area? Well, you need those daily expected moves, and we do see 610, 610, 610, 610, 610. 610.85 to the upside, and we have 602.71 to the downside. Now, something that I think could be very interesting for this market going into, say, GDP on Thursday morning would be if we start out the day tomorrow with the most likely scenario, which is to get some form of 30-minute pullback. And I would really like that pullback to maybe even be a slight gap and come down to a point of about 603 or come down to my daily expected move of 602.71. That way we are able to see that pullback very quickly in the morning and we can head higher potentially all the way into the close where Thursday we can start to set some kind of trap. This is how the market would like to potentially set a trap this week. This was my assessment going into last week when we extended the time frames and said, hey, now we can leak it higher into GDP. You guys remember we were talking about that Wednesday and Thursday of last week. We were just like, hey, now we've leaked out the time enough that we can head higher into setting a trap for GDP. But the truth is with this, look, if you don't see something like that and you don't see the 2-hour confirm up and just bam, right back down, we start to lose lows. You can extend this move higher. You have built up a lot of time here where this might be a first move that then ends up curling back down to give you the second one that can lead you up to potentially good things by like July 4th. So that's how the bullish way it would continue to the upside is you just continue to squeeze and you don't really set up those divergence points. Or when those divergence points are set up, you actually see that curl down and be able to curl up one more time into positive territory for the 2-hour. You want to be aware of how this can continue. If you want my opinion on this, my opinion is we are at the weekly expected move. You have a lot of stocks that we actually might point out today. I'll point out one of them right after this since we're talking about it. We have a lot of stocks that are outside of monthly moves. You have AMD, Microsoft, Meta, some big stocks that are outside of those moves. So you're kind of telling me that those stocks are going to see even more craziness. JP Morgan is going to see more craziness to the upside right now. I mean, if you just zoom out on this, we did this during the stream. We just showed you how it was like, oh my goodness, that is going ballistic. And now you've made that new high. So it really wants to pull back at least on the 2-hour for JP Morgan. So it's like, not seeing a pullback from this area and even not getting the daily pullback at this point seems rather unlikely. And I think you are more likely to just sit back, relax, and say, the probabilities say that something like this is very improbable at this point for a lot of stocks. So I think it is more likely that this is going to be the good trade or this is still going to be the good trade. So we're just really nitpicking and paying attention in case we want to try to call some kind of top. And as of right now, if you wanted to call some kind of top, I would at least be waiting for some kind of reversal signal to show its head. Let's go over to the Qs for a moment here. We're going to show off a couple of stocks, actually. Let's show these off. like Meta, if you just take this into consideration, and Patreon members, we have more of these type of looks. You can really see how it's kind of like, oh, we go up, we create that little pullback, and then we go up, and then we create that little time pullback, and then we go up. And we can hit points like 736.25, but now you are above this yellow line, which tells you have a 68% chance by the end of the month just to do this. So going long in this area is totally different than making a decision based on if you already had contracts like way back here. So just be aware that decision making can be different for each individual. So take this information with a grain of salt, or at least with your trading style in mind, because it really looks like your Meta can still get excited, but it's getting excited enough where the month says we're at least going to see a potential pullback before we're actually able to head higher. So we're just going to watch out for that. Now let's go back over to the Qs. I just wanted to show you guys, and I don't know why these charts have been so weird lately. All my stuff keeps breaking, but I just wanted to show you a meta to show you, like, even though the indices aren't at those ranges, and they can get there, I'm still saying they can get there, but a lot of these stocks are saying, hey, we're kind of doing crazy things before the Qs and SPY do the crazy thing. 2-hour chart here. Once again, you've really extended the time by not doing this type of structure to just crash down, right? So we extended that time into what? Into GDP. Thank you to the 30-minute. Let's just do this real quick. Thumbs up to you guys for paying attention to these videos when we were pointing out all this divergence on the RSI and a potential rejection divergence happening on that one day right here. So very interesting stuff. We saw it all across this RSI, and we said, hey, well, everyone's saying another Black Monday and Iran is real, blah, blah, blah. The Qs are suggesting with their signals that the momentum to the downside is weak, and you're in a positive trend. Pay attention to any time you're in a positive trend, especially a bullish trend, and you see something that looks like it can go bullish. Okay, that's most of the time what it's going to be. The doom, the scare, the crash, the all that. Make sure your signals actually suggest that that can happen, because for this Monday we had literally the opposite, and that's why I was kind of trolling on Sunday. So we do see that the daily expected moves and the 30-minute chart is way up there. We see 544.15 to the upside and 535.41 to the downside. Not the largest amount of implied volatility. So we literally can see this and this into tomorrow. So just be paying attention. But what's the shape you're looking for? Let's do this a little bit different. Right, we already talked about you're looking for the same thing on the Qs as the SPY, maybe a higher low, right? Higher lows, same thing. But down here on the MACD, what do we need to see? Divergence. If you're not clear on that, that means we want to see this come up for another push higher after a pullback and then show us the weakness and momentum down here with a divergence or a lower high in some way, right? The little lightning bolt. So that's just, it's very, very simple. That's what we're looking for. And if you want to join us in the morning for the live stream, you can subscribe and come to us in the morning. It's just completely free to hang out with us in the morning and ask some questions. But you're at the weekly expected move, so decision-making area. What I'm looking for in this area for the Qs is that potential divergence if we are going to break down with GDP, and I really want to look at that. But as I've said, this has extended. You have opened up the door to be able to go into Friday. You've opened the door to be able to go to the next Friday. And you potentially, at that point, might be opening doors to go even further. You don't want to say that this can stop. Every time you see a signal that says this, like, right, like let's say we have a divergence, every single time you see a signal in this type of environment, in this bullish environment, all you have to do is watch for that to actually confirm. And then if you see that thing start to swing back up and go positive, it's not the moment. And that's all that bullish trends are, right? It just means this is a moment of weakness. We didn't get the weakness to show up. The bulls started up again. Then you see it again. And then you go, okay, now's the moment. This is why it's better to try to take the bullish trades than the bearish ones in a positive trend. But now we're going to have some fun and try to call some kind of top. So very, very nice. But you can extend the move now. If this is the first push in this overall move and we want to extend that into July a little bit for that first week, you see going up into potentially even July 4th, we could see something bad. I have the weirdest gut feeling that something politically bad, like possibly something bad, will happen near the 4th of July. That is my over inclination right now. I don't know why I've had that gut feeling for the last few days. Maybe I'm just watching too many clips of those bombs going off in those other countries, because I don't know. I do have that kind of feeling, and I like to be prepared, so I will be prepared. This is similar to the feeling I got just 2 weeks before Donald Trump was assassinated. And in that case, we actually said, hey, that 3 days before we said, hey, I think there's high risk of Donald Trump potential assassination attempt. So maybe we got lucky this time, or maybe we got lucky that time. Maybe we'll get lucky this time. But the 2 hour can continue the overall move. So just be aware of that. If you don't see reversal signals here, then there's no way for this 2 hour to turn down and go negative. Okay, so we'll be really watching for that. Let's go talk about volatility. Now, volatility has broken down. You can see kind of what I'm looking for from volatility. We see that the 2 hour chart is going extremely deep. If this just continues to drop, you're going to continue to squeeze, right? You don't want to think about it too much past that. But what I think is going to shape up here is I think you're going to see a moment of volatility in the morning tomorrow. And if this is wrong, this is more just like, hey, if I actually saw this, I would potentially buy volatility. That's why I talk like this on a lot of these videos. I want to overall talk like, hey, I'm looking for the opportunity here. So if I'm looking for an opportunity with volatility, I would want to see that 30-minute get close to that center line, curl back down, and then rotate up to where it curls up closer to the center line, maybe even creating some kind of what? Some kind of divergence would be very, very nice to see here. So if I see a 30-minute divergence on volatility, I'm going to say the 2 hour is going to get a move. Now, if the 2 hour gets a move from this area without breaking this low, that could be some kind of higher low on the daily scale forming. That's right. This could be a rejection and a retest of those lows. And if you can set up the fact that we have a low and then a higher low, that would be a big deal. So I'm really paying attention if we're able to break this. If we are able to confirm down below these type of levels, confirm down on the MACD, it would suggest a few more days of positivity, but we are going to watch things very carefully over the next couple of weeks because the window, the door for bullishness has been open for a couple weeks, but our first rock that can tear us down is literally Thursday morning. So just in like 24 hours or so, you will run into your first rock. Friday expiration, potential for second rock over the weekend. Then we can start to get into the next week when we talk about 4th of July. All right, guys. So for this video, I think the main takeaway is just we're overall doing very well, right? At least reading the market. I don't have money risked at this point. I wish I did because I was pretty confident with it and it ends up working out. But I told myself in my notebook that, hey, I want to be patient and make sure I'm seeing things clearly around GDP. And so I'm going to let the market do what it wants to do. And my plan for this is, and this is just what I said before the week starts, my plan for this is the 30-minute to make a big move if possible. If it wants to do this, okay, fine. But I said the better thing would be big move. That's how you can extend it. We can curl down for the morning. Then we can see some kind of upside, right? We get kind of this 1, 2, 3 up. And then on Thursday, we actually see something kind of abrupt happen. So this is what I'm overall looking for a trap with GDP. If this does not set up, then I do not have a play to take, right? This is my overall assessment. Step 1 is overall working out. Looking for step 2 to get to step 3 to give me the position that I can potentially take on step 4 to calling some kind of top. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking and subscribing. I just wanted to make sure to hop onto here and give you guys a little bit of insight into tomorrow, get you guys those daily expected moves, and I hope you guys really appreciate it. So I would appreciate a like if you enjoyed this video and you thought you got something a little bit helpful. I'll see you guys in the morning for our live show where we will be live in the morning a little bit longer tomorrow. So make sure to stop by, ask questions, join us, let us look at a stock for you. We're perfectly fine with that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Peace out.